Hello Year 11 and welcome to our walking talking mock on the unseen poetry section C of the English Literature paper 2 exam. You can now write your name and details on the front cover. Please remember that normal exam rules apply, so it is your teachers who will be walking and talking. If you need help, you have any questions differently to a normal exam, then obviously you put your hands up and someone will come along and help you. Now, the section we're going to be looking at today is Section C. You will already have completed Section A, an inspector calls, and Section B on power and conflict. So you may be feeling a bit tired at this point, so I need to just say to you, please keep going. This is the final part of the paper and it's still worth 30% of the marks on this paper. So you need, although I know you will be tired, to keep going and keep working hard. So for this section, it has two parts to it. The first on an unseen poem, and that's worth 24 marks. So it's the bigger question. And the second is an unseen comparison. So you get a second poem, which is worth less, about 8 marks for that one. So obviously you'll spend the majority of your time on the first question. But do try to allow yourself time to answer the second, as they are a valuable 8 marks available. Okay, now to look through here at the assessment objectives, which have been simplified a little for you. Now remember, for this one you don't actually need to worry about AO3, which is context. You only have to worry about AO1 and AO2 for this section of the paper. So you want to make sure, very importantly, that you are answering the question. You also need to make sure that you're using quotations that support your answer, that you analyse language, that you use appropriate subject terminology, so refer to methods and devices used by the writer, and you comment on the structure or form of the poem if you can, and discuss the meaning and effects made while you focus upon that question. So here is the question. Have a look through now. And you should obviously highlight keywords in the question. So here the poem is called Love is a Losing Game, and it points out here that you should focus on how the poet presents speaker's feelings towards love, and as I said, this is worth 24 marks. So the first thing you should do is read the poem through, and preferably read it a second time at least, highlighting 3 to 4 devices, so 3 to 4 methods, techniques used by the writer that you can see. Things like metaphors, repetition, enjambment and rhyme, anything else that you notice. Very important here, don't highlight everything. Try to think about things that you understand, that you feel confident you can talk about, and obviously that you feel are relevant to the question, the speaker's feelings towards love. So discuss them in that respect. You'll have 5 minutes, roughly at most, to read this through and highlight and get your ideas together. So do that now. You have 5 minutes. Once you've got your ideas together, you've read through the poem, you've picked out some key things that you would like to talk about, you're ready to start a plan. Now, importantly, you have 30 minutes probably at most to answer this 24-mark question, so you need to be very quick with this. Once you have got your ideas together, then you have about 5 minutes to make a plan, and you're aiming for 3 really strong appeal paragraphs. That's point, evidence, explain, analyse and link. Now, some of your teachers may have given you a different way to approach that, but you're looking for 3 good analytical paragraphs. You want to focus on the quotations that you use that support the answer, and obviously the use of subject terminology and devices. So your plan may look something like this, focusing on the question and noting down and bullet pointing key things that you are going to discuss in each paragraph. And as I said, you're aiming for 3. So now have a go at your own plan. You want 3 P paragraphs. You can start planning now. You have 5 minutes. Okay, now you've completed your planning, you're ready to answer the question. As you've used 10 minutes annotating and planning, you've got 20 minutes remaining to write your 3 Peel paragraphs. Now, remember again the key bits of the assessment objectives that you are looking for. And remember to make sure that you are focusing at all times on the question. After each paragraph, check the question again and make sure you're remaining focused. You've now got 20 minutes to complete your answer. Now you've finished the first unseen poetry question, you have the second one to tackle. And this is a comparative question. Importantly, you're looking at key things, the subject terminology used is what you're focusing on, and the comparison of the effect of those methods on the reader. So it's only AO2 here that you are really focusing on. So in the question, it asks you to point out love is a losing game and a vow. The speakers describe the conflicted feelings that come with love. And it asks you what are the similarities and or differences between the ways the poets present those feelings. So again, highlight keywords in the question. And as you did with the previous poem, you now want to spend up to a maximum of 5 minutes reading through the poem. And I aim to highlight 3 devices, 3 methods that you can see the writer has used here. And again, things like metaphors, repetition, and so on. You are then going to compare those with the previous poem. Importantly, you can refer to devices and techniques you have already mentioned in your previous question for Love is a Losing Game. So make notes next to each device against the poem. You don't have time to do a separate plan for this one. So think about which devices may be similar and which are different. You could even just put an S or a D next to each device and think about how you're going to compare it with the previous poem. So you've got 5 minutes now to read the poem, highlight those devices and think about the similarities and the differences. Now, finally, you need to have a go at answering this last question. You want to aim here for very straightforward P paragraphs, 2 on each poem with a comparison between them. So write point, evidence, explain, then a comparative. So whether you think it's similar or whether you think it's different, and then a following paragraph on the second poem. And you want to aim for 2 of those all together. So have a go now, you've got 10 minutes.